Hey guys! So, as a thank you to everyone for the immense engagement my channel has seen recently, I'm making this video. I've prepared a short acceptance speech, although YouTube haven't sent over my 1000 subscriber award yet. Do they do those? To all the friends and dear family who, instead of shunning me for deciding to share too much of myself on the internet, have blindly supported me and even promoted my channel more than I do in real life. To all the internet strangers who've seen my channel and went, hey, this person's kind of cool. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for over 1000 subscribers. That's really cool. I've seen that a lot of people make these Q&A type videos when they want to celebrate such milestones. So here it goes. So my name is Ashley with an Leigh at the end. I know, weird stuff. I realize I've never actually said my name on this channel because every time I'm making different content, I just want to get straight to the content because I'm efficient like that. So I am from Zimbabwe, which is in Southern Africa, but I am currently living in the UK. I'm here on a study visa. I am at Keele University working towards a BSc in geography and geology. So that's answering a few of the questions. Another one of the questions was, what made you interested in fashion in the first place? What do you like about it the most, and what do you like the least? I can't pinpoint a point in my life where I can say this is exactly the moment when I got interested in fashion, because even at the most basic levels, everyone interacts with fashion at some points in their lives. Although I will say there are probably more prominent points than for most people. For instance, as a kid, my mom and I used to watch all these reality TV competition type shows like Project Runway, where it would just amaze me that they were given a project and they would come up with this idea, and in a few hours it's materialized into a dress and is walking down a runway. And 6, 7, 8-year-old me was able to gloss over all the other stuff in the fashion industry, like at the time, like the starving of models, the lack of diversity of models or whatever, and was just looking at these garments that these people have made and being like, wow, I wish I could do that. I want to do that. And I actually used to draw, thank goodness I cannot source any of these because they've all probably been destroyed, but I used to draw my own sketches of clothing, and at one point I even drew my best friend a wedding dress, which she should use or else I am not attending. It's just those small things, I guess, that got me interested in it. What would I say I like about it the most? Definitely the self-expression. Like, you can tell a lot about a person from what they wear, a lot about other people. I do not know what my clothing says about me, but a lot about other people from what they wear and how they choose to present themselves in certain settings. There's a lot more about like respectability politics and the politicization of fashion in some points, which I am planning to actually script and think out into videos if anyone is interested, by the way. But it is definitely interesting to see how people will put together pieces. Even in this world of like mass-produced clothing, every person can still individually express themselves in a slightly different way to the other with it, which I think is really cool. What I like the least about it is definitely, from watching my videos, you could probably guess, the environmental impact, which is like this thing that most people will not even think about. Like, it's this inherent part of life that you are going to get dressed and you are going to pick this out and that out, can impact the environment so strongly. At previous times I would have said maybe things that I don't like are like the gatekeeping of only people who look like this can wear that, or which often happens in like different depictions of models shown like in ranges of color, abilities, or size, and etc. I think there are communities of people, like especially in the body positivity world, where some people can find communities of people who are more accepting of how one chooses to express themselves. However, there needs to be like a more unified opinion on how to tackle the environmental issues caused by fashion. So that's definitely the thing I hate most and the thing I like most answered. So in terms of what then made me interested to talk about it in the vein of ethical fashion, in that I actually didn't even think about environmental impacts of anything until maybe about 2 years ago. It was in one of my geography lectures with Deidre McKay. I hope she's not watching this, but in that lecture, she basically asked everyone to like look at what they were wearing or think about what they have in their wardrobe, whether it's been fast fashion. And at the time I like kind of knew what it was, but I didn't really know what it was. And I was like, No, of course not. I would never support such a wretched thing. And then she like listed, I think, 4 or 5 brands that I'd either purchased from or thought about purchasing from if I ever had money. And then I was just there like, how is this a thing that is allowed? And now I know that the answer to almost every question about something negative comes down to capitalism. That is definitely how I got interested after that lecture, and then reading on and listening to all these podcasts, etc. That is probably a highlight in my journey to this. So someone asked, what are my thoughts on cultural appropriation in fashion? I think it's bad. I think everyone should think it's bad. It's just not necessary to rip off other people. But I think people don't realize what about it is bad. So what I think is bad about it is if a person is inspired by a certain culture, puts it in their designs or how they dress their models, but does not represent that culture in their line of models or in their backstory about the design, because there often is a backstory, isn't it, about how the design came about or whatever. There is no acknowledgement in that person's life of, hey, I support these people, because it's often a marginalized group of people who do need allies in a lot of social justice issues, but then no, it's just straight up ripping people off. And it's a reason why a lot of fashion brands have been boycotted over it a lot of times. And most recently, to my memory, Shein selling prayer mats as like yoga mats or something like that, and Dolls Kill with the Native American headdress as Halloween costumes. Designers should just stray away from it. Like, draw inspiration from your own life instead of copying from other people. How difficult can that be? And if that is difficult for you, maybe you're in the wrong field. Someone asked, who do you watch on YouTube? I think Tiffany actually asked me this question. Tiffany Ferg is a YouTuber who does commentary as well, for those of you who don't know, although I know most of you are here from her channel. But I watch her channel and I definitely aspire to have that level of research. Like, she does these like half-hour long, almost podcast types, like the way I consume most of YouTube anyways, and just listening. Other YouTubers I watch, Kristen Leo, Sarah Hawkinson does a lot of talking about fast fashion brands as well. Definitely a lot of inspiration from there. Jordan Teresa, she used to do a lot of similar stuff to what Tiffany does, but has sort of moved on to more political topics, such as discussing the demonization of the working class. That's like one of my favorite videos from her. So in that same light would be like Philosophy Tube. I used to watch a lot of Patricia Bright's channel, but then even the watching of excessive clothing hauls just at a certain point like started getting to my head, like I cannot fully enjoy this. But then she has the Break channel, which is a more like a finance advice channel for, you know, young adults in their 20s, even though some of the advice just does seem vague. It's nice to just watch a successful Black woman on screen, I guess, as a sort of inspirational note. Home Team History does a lot of African history videos, a lot of things that, you know, we don't necessarily learn in school, that we didn't learn in school. So Ready to Glare does a lot of expose, true crime type content. Also, I just like enjoy seeing which colorful wig she's going to be wearing which week. Damon Dominique, I watch his channel as sort of like an aspirational, maybe one day when I live in France thing, because it's like kind of in my head that I would just want to live there one day for no reason at all. I don't have a specific reason why France, but it's in there. So like, I would love to have a red wine talk session with him one day. That would be really cool. Kelly Stamps is one of the funniest YouTubers I've ever watched, and I think it is probably her channel that has inspired me the most to actually make a channel. I was in quarantine, I was bored, I was in my room, I had no one else to speak to, so my camera was the next best thing. She at the time was actually making a lot of videos encouraging other people to make YouTube content, but more on the side of, because it's a good way to make an income in the long run. But for me at the time, I was just like, you know, even if no one else is gonna watch this is just fun to do, I guess, because I like putting myself through mess and research as fun. I also watch some music critiquing channels like Anthony Fantano and Honest, because I need other people to tell me what music to enjoy and which is terrible and which is not. The media is intense. Sometimes I don't want to sift through the bad albums. I just want someone else to listen to it for me and be like, this is good, this is bad. I'm also a big fan of D'Angelo Wallace. I think I started watching his channel when he was at about 100k subscribers, and he's recently had a huge surge in numbers to up like 1 million subs. Someone actually said in a previous video that I kind of remind them of him, which, I mean, thank you. Someone asked a question like, who would you want to collaborate with the most? And I think any of the people that I've just mentioned would be so fantastic. I mean, it would be great considering I've already like struck gold with a video I took part in on Tiffany Ferg's channel. So to be able to do something else, a different project with other YouTubers I like, would just feel like, you know, I've taped a 4-leaf clover to my forehead or something. There are also 2 Instagram pages whose admins or the people who do the research for the pages I would also really like to work with in some way, shape or form, like Chicks for Climate and Diet Prada. Especially the Diet Prada page has been the source of some of my research topics. They talk a lot about fashion but also social justice issues. Someone asked, do you have any favorite movies or series? Now, don't judge me, but the only answer I can ever come up with when someone asks me my favorite movie is Shrek 2. Don't judge me, but it is the best sequel of all time. The cinematography, the soundtrack, the humor, the animation itself, chef's kiss. Close second, WALL-E. No one has paid attention to this movie all this while, but they were just trying to tell us that we are polluting our planet into oblivion, and soon we will all be floating around in some spaceship with no purpose in life because we've had to abandon this planet. But we all know in the real world, which actually is kind of depicted in the movie, it's mostly only white people on the ship. So I'm scared, okay? Please go rewatch WALL-E. Please pay attention to the message. Please care for the planet. And Interstellar, that was also a great film. Series, The Good Place, a pretty cast, questioning our moral values, and a little blasphemous. And no one asked this, but for anyone who might be interested to hear what my favorite music is, I'm probably in the stereotypical, I'm different because I listen to indie music, and my definition of indie music is popular bands that are mainstream, but I still think they're not mainstream for some unknown reason. Oh, that was at least definitely my like philosophy in high school. Definitely in the sadness daddy issues vibes of like 21 Pilots, Lana Del Rey, up until her recent problematic tweets and Instagram posts, The Neighborhood. Favorite songs that I'm repeating non-stop at the moment are Susie Save Your Love by Ali X, Tipsy by Chloe and Halle, Who's Gonna Save You Now by Rina Sawayama, and Prom Dress by MXM Tune. Nobody asked for that, but there it is. If you've somehow watched this to the end, because I'm filming right now and it's like 30 minutes and I don't know what I'm gonna cut it down to, but thank you so much. And again, thank you everyone for over 1K subscribers. That is amazing. We will get back to our regular broadcasting next week, but for the meantime, feel free to watch any of my other videos if you haven't. If you haven't subscribed and you're watching this to maybe get a feel for who I am, please don't hate me. Please like and share this video or leave a comment. What do you think? Do you agree with some of the things I like? Do you think I'm an uncultured swine for some of the things I like? Let me know. Hope you're having a good day, and I will see you next time.